Have you ever spent years playing the good soldier, just plowing through things you don't like, day after day, year after year, no end in sight? You keep going because you're not a quitter. If you're close to my age, you were probably raised by that Vince Lombardi mantra that winners never quit and quitters never win. You were probably also taught that how you feel about doing something is irrelevant. You don't have to like it, you just have to do it. You may have even told your kids that. Grit is good. You were probably told that too. Being consistent, reliable, and keeping on even when it's not fun is part of life. It's what responsible adults do. In a lot of ways, I agree with all of this. Life's hard sometimes, and you're more likely to get through challenges if you can put your head down and keep going. Also, if you're close to my age, you've probably been through many losses and challenges, many seasons of life, maybe raising a family while you're trying to build a career. Responsible adults don't get to do whatever they want, whenever they want. It's just not how life works, right? Well, here's the thing. The idea that you should just shut off your emotions and push through no matter what, that's a blunt instrument. It has its place, but there's no nuance to it. And life is very nuanced. I know it's not fun or easy or pleasant all the time, but I also believe we're not supposed to be miserable indentured servants who have been sentenced to decades of hard labor, whatever that means for each of us, that we hate. And to be clear, while that would include jobs and careers, it can include anything. Activities we feel like we have to keep doing, roles that we've sort of fallen into that we feel like we have to keep playing for other people, friends and relationships who take up our time and emotional energy that may either be unhealthy or maybe they've run their course and they no longer add value to our lives. It's honorable to be genuinely kind and giving and not selfishly believe that our lives are just about us. But many people take it to the other extreme where they repeatedly deny their own wants and needs. They become disconnected from who they really are, what they really want and enjoy, and what gives their lives meaning. The problem is, if you do this for enough years, and I know because I used to live that way, it's not something you just suddenly reverse later in life. You truly get out of touch with yourself in a way where you're sort of an emotionless, disconnected shell of who you used to be. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to say there are two kinds of grit: false grit and true grit. False grit is continuing to consistently do things you don't like that you could choose not to do while slowly dying inside. And the part I want to challenge is this: do you really have no choice? I know it's hard to change some things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have a choice. Or are you just afraid of what would happen if you stopped or changed that thing? The thing is, we're all very good at making excuses for ourselves. And it's so much easier in the short run not to change anything. But in the long run, we could become miserable or it could kill us. We stay because we're afraid of what leaving or changing would mean. Maybe we're anxious or fearful. Maybe we're worried we'll let others down and that they'll be upset with us. But it's not brave to stay in a life that's draining you. It's just familiar. So what's true grit? I think of true grit as being grit, or the fortitude to keep on keeping on, with a dose of self-awareness and vision. If you have true grit, you still do the temporary things you don't necessarily want to do to get through the seasons of life you have to get through and any hardships you have to face. The difference is that otherwise, you consider yourself as part of the equation. You have inner clarity and a long game vision. If you're continually doing something hard, if you have true grit, it's because it serves who you want to become. It includes self-respect and boundaries. You pivot from long-term things that aren't aligned with who you are. You don't fake being sick, you don't ghost your responsibilities, but you stop pretending it's working and you make a plan to leave or change whatever it is. You don't keep doing decades of miserable things you don't want to do because you're worried about what other people will think or because you believe that you'll be a quitter if you do. You know that you're not only going to be more fulfilled, but that the world benefits more from you showing up as yourself and using your unique perspectives interests and skills to make a difference. You weren't put here to just grind through obligations and play roles until you burn out and die. I really believe that's not why we're here. True grit means having the strength to stop betraying yourself so you can start building a life that actually fits. And it reminds me of something that Wayne Dyer used to say: don't die with your music still in you. I think he was right. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Be sure to share this with someone else if you think they might benefit from it. And subscribe if you want more content like this. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.